Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application. Today in History, what happened today in history?
Historical calendar and the website onthisday.com.
Exactly. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Aoxander, and today I am joined by...
Scott, aka Norville Rogers today.
AKA Scotty Bugatti, AKA Scotty Too Hottie for you. He's our Scotty, not yours. Back off. Anyway, today is Thor's Day, also known as Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. How's that for an intro, bro?
Excellent.
Yeah. Why don't you start us off here in the year 66?
Sure, first one, 66. Emperor Nero creates the Legion 1 Italica.
Ah. Alright. I didn't see anything up until 1504, the treaty one here, so...
Alright. Okay, so it's gotta be Treaty of Blois. Blois? Something like Blois. Treaty of Blois, because it's French or whatever, but signed between Philip of Burgundy, Holy Roman Emperor Maximilian I, and French King Louis XII. It makes me think of like Dubois, but it's in the different one. Yeah, that's why I said that.
Bill Dautrive Dubois. Whatever his name is. He had like that long ass name.
Yeah.
Oh, you got another historic event here. Ooh.
1598, playwright and poet Ben Jonson is indicted for manslaughter as the result of a duel.
Huh.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, technically it is illegal, but I mean, like, shouldn't a man's word, be counted for something? Like, he didn't just like shoot him; it was a duel. So like they both understood the risks. So like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd fully agree with indicting him for manslaughter.
Hard to say, yeah. I wonder what it was about.
I don't know. Well, Ben Jonson, right? Ben Jonson.
Yeah, Jonson.
Ben Jonson, duel. He definitely killed a man. Gabriel Spencer, okay. Gabriel Spencer is best known for episodes of violence culminating in his death in a duel at the hands of playwright Ben Jonson. So this was like a long-going thing.
Yeah.
And it unfortunately had to end in violence. And
they were rivals or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, they're adults, and, if they can't talk it out, they certainly can seek, an outside, source. Or, I don't know. But,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, still, I don't know if he should be indicted for manslaughter because, I mean, he was defending his honor. Yeah, there's more legal ways to do it. I'm not sure back in 1598, though. That's a long time ago. So, and you can only look at history through the glass of modernism. You don't know what it was like back then.
Yeah, and it's like the guns were probably not even that accurate. I mean, unless the duel was like he cheated or something, like he shot before it was the right time in the duel. Like you're supposed to walk, paces or something.
Yeah, maybe.
And then could be.
That might be a thing. But anyway, let's move on up here to 1656. An all-female jury heard a case of Judith Catchpole, accused of killing her child. They acquitted her in Paxton County, Maryland. Okay, so they acquitted her for killing a child.
Yeah, her own child. Yeah.
Postpartum depression. Yep. 1665, Molière's comedic play L'Amour Médecine premiered for King Louis XIV at Versailles. Look at that Frenchman with his little mustache. Oh, oui, oui. And then we have the Salem witch trials here, 1692. The last people hanged for witchcraft, which was 8 in the U.S., 19 hanged overall, with 6 other deaths during the Salem witch trials. So this is when it ended. So,
Serious time.
At least the last people hanged. Sorry, what?
Yeah. A very interesting time when this was going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that lithograph is crazy, just like.
Well, this was a dramatization art piece involving like the first witch trial, and it's supposed to be depicting that like, 'cause she was doing this, like, I'm not a witch, you know, blah blah, but then like but then somebody passed out or something, so like they're like, oh, she cast a spell and made him pass out, you know, or something like that. So anyway,
crazy.
Well, 1699, that's intriguing.
People of Rotterdam strike over high cost of butter.
How dare you make my butter expensive? How will I enjoy toast?
They must have been using a lot of butter back then.
But for your pancakes, put in half a cup of butter, and not like a cup. I'm talking about like a jar, half a case of butter to make pancakes. Butter
was worth its weight in gold back in 1699, I guess.
Maybe. Well, that's interesting. 1735 here. I wonder what the significance of this address is.
1735, Robert Walpole becomes the first British Prime Minister, actually first Lord of the Treasury, to live at 10 Downing Street.
This is 10 Downing Street. Oh, the Prime Minister's office. Okay. So this was like before. Okay, so that makes sense. He was the first quote-unquote Prime Minister before Prime Minister was actually a position. So
yeah,
he lived there, and then they just they made that the office, it seems. So yeah, because he's the first British Prime Minister here. It says under his picture. So.
Yep.
Here we go again with BPC.
1745, Bonnie Prince Charlie's army returns to Edinburgh.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't know the UK had a civil war on their own, on their own ground, other than the Irish stuff. This was back in 1700s. Like this, they call him the pretender to the throne because he claims to have legitimacy to the throne, and he had like an army and everything. And then there was actually battles and people died and stuff, and it's crazy. I needed to learn more about that. Especially since it happens just a few decades before the revolution. 1776.
Yep. Right.
So yeah. Anyway, let's move on up to 1761. Still your turn, right?
One more, yeah. Coronation of King George III of the United Kingdom and Queen Charlotte.
Speaking of the speaking of the revolution, King George, yep. He was a guy. He was the king during it. So he did the whole taxation without representation thing on tea, to punish us.
Oh, right.
The tea tax,
Yeah, we've talked about that a bit before, yeah.
Yep. Then 1772, we have the first partition of Poland was ratified by Austria, Prussia, and Russia. So they're slicing Poland up like a ham. That's not nice. And then 1 year later, 1773, Benjamin Franklin published a hoax letter, an edict by the King of Prussia in the Public Advertiser, criticizing Britain's colonial policies in the American colonies. Dang. So he straight up made something up, speaking on behalf for somebody else without them even knowing. And by somebody else, I mean another country. So that's not cool. That's stoking the fire right there, that's...
Yeah, what, did anything come about it after that? Did
the revolution, that's 3 years before it.
There's a record of it, but that letter in general, that, like you said, it probably stirred the pot public advertiser, so
Yeah.
people are reading about that, and they're like,
Yeah, they're like,
rumors
oh,
probably
the other
spread.
nations of the world are condemning the UK for what they're doing to the American colonies. I'm on board. Like it's a way to falsely gain, like more people on your side, and
Hmm.
that's not cool. Because like yeah, like an edict by the King of Prussia, so like a hoax letter. So he's writing as if he's speaking on behalf of the King of Prussia, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like that's back in those days. That's probably one of the only ways you can do something like that because it's not like we are now. That's like
Yeah,
probably one of the only options that he can think of to actually do something like that.
to
Just send
gain
a
more
letter out.
support for his side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
there is a
like
record of it, so it's pretty interesting. There's a record of it.
yeah, yeah, that is intriguing.
I
Like
wonder if he admitted that it was a hoax letter, like, or they figured it out it was Benjamin Franklin, like.
I don't know. That's going to lead down the rabbit hole of research that we just don't have the time to do on the show, unfortunately. Um,
True.
but I welcome any viewer watching this to take on that challenge and present us with the findings. That'd be awesome, actually. So,
It would.
yep. Moving on up into 1789, the U.S. Congress passed an act requiring the first Postmaster General to report to the President through the Secretary of the Treasury. Huh. All right. Well, that's interesting. Then we have 1792. The French First Republic was formed by the National Convention, stripping the French king of his powers. Ooh, no powers for you, king. Dang. And then 1867, John Quincy Adams became a U.S. Secretary of State. All right. He was also the sixth U.S. president. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's president too, so.
yeah. Well, hey, you got an interesting one here.
1832, during his HMS Beagle voyage, Charles Darwin discovers a large number of fossils at Punta Alta in Argentina.
Dang. Fossils at Punta Alta in Argentina. Let me see here.
Always a good find.
Fossils. Images. Let me see here. Ah, so like skeletal fossils and stuff, it seems. I'm trying to find this. What year was this? 1832.
Yeah.
1832. Darwin. I'm still getting like the same skeletal fossils, so including those large armadillo things. So that's interesting.
So, dinosaurs.
No, like what appears to be a saber-toothed cat here. Then I have a Darwin and the Strangest Animal Ever. What is this? Letters from Gondwana. I don't know what the heck this is. Oh. Anyway, let's see here. Wow.
Oh, this is a good one.
1861. That's kind of brutal.
Oh yeah. Jeez. A horse race dispute. Oh my gosh. Is it my turn or yours?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. 1861, Fort Fauntleroy, or Wingate, in New Mexico, fires on and kills Navajo Indians after horse race dispute.
That's not cool. Like,
Not at all.
no. But going from completely uncool to something really radical.
Oh yeah.
Radical as in awesome, you know. Go for it.
1862, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln issues preliminary Emancipation Proclamation threatening to free all enslaved people in the rebel southern states if those states fail to rejoin the Union by January 1st, 1863.
Yep. And we know how well that went. So.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but hey, unfortunately, bad things have to happen for good things to come, And we may be facing Civil War Round 2, like this upcoming November. So.
True. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. It's coming up pretty quickly.
With all the voting things going on and with all this stuff happening, right now, remind me to tell you or to talk to you about some of the stuff I heard today. On the while watching random videos on YouTube and everything. From like um, Salty Cracker and Timcast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy stuff been happening recently. Anyway, you have a third one here in 1866.
War of the Triple Alliance. Decisive Battle of Curupati results in a Paraguayan victory and heavy losses for Argentinian and Brazilian forces.
So dang. War of the Triple Alliance. What was that? It's telling me just this. Hold on a second. What is War? War of the Triple Alliance. So apparently there's memes of it. Yeah, the Paraguayan War was it was a South American war that lasted from 1864 to 1870, so 6 years. That's pretty long. It was fought between Paraguay and the Triple Alliance of Argentina, the Empire of Brazil, and Uruguay. It was the deadliest and bloodiest interstate war in Latin American history. Holy shit. Well, dang.
Didn't realize that was so, strong.
Yeah. Yeah, like I gotta learn a lot more about South American history as well. Like, I'm still a budding historian as far as general knowledge and whatnot. Anyway, moving on up into 1869, Richard Wagner's opera Das Rheingold, the first piece of his Ring cycle, premiered in Munich, Germany. Okay. And then, let's see here. Going from 1869 to 1877, so 8 years later, Rudolf Virchow delivered an anti-Darwinian speech to the Congress of German Naturalists and Physicians, Munich, where he spoke against the teaching of the theory of evolution in schools.
Well, that is something.
Yeah. Like
going against Charles Darwin, right after he found those fossils. What was it, like 20 years later?
Somewhere around there, actually. Let's see here.
30 years, I guess.
1832, I see. So 1832
yeah, about 30.
to 1877.
40 years.
Somewhere in there, yeah. Moving on up into, let's see here. Let's just go into 1896. Queen Victoria surpassed her grandfather, King George III, as the then longest reigning monarch in British history, which has since been surpassed by the late Queen Elizabeth II, who died, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, somewhere in there?
Just had the funeral on television.
Yeah, the other day.
Yep.
Anyway, you get some baseball stuff. Scotty Bugatti in 1911.
Cool. 1911, Boston Rustlers' future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Cy Young beats Pittsburgh Pirates 1-0 at Forbes Field for his final career victory, number 511.
Dang.
And of course, that's the Cy Young Award for the best pitcher, is named after him. So.
He's more than earned, being an award. So.
Mm-hmm.
Some more baseball stuff.
Then in 1912, Philadelphia second baseman Eddie Collins becomes only player in MLB history to steal 6 bases in one game for a second time as A's beat St. Louis Browns 8-2. Man, he must have been fast. Pretty cool.
Zooming those balls. That sounds
yes. Stealing bases. That's pretty cool. He was just running all game long.
Yep. Uno mas.
1913, 1 year later, George M. Cohan's play 7 Keys to Baldpate premieres in New York City.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, me either.
Let's see here. 1913 as well. The first batch of Indian passive resistors consisting of 12 men and 4 women, including Mrs. Katspura Gandhi, were arrested at Volkhurst and imprisoned in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. Dang. Oh. Well, that's way before apartheid. But this was Mahatma Gandhi. Like, I thought Gandhi was more recent. Or maybe that's Gandhi's mother.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, it could just have the similar last name, but I doubt it. It is South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's, there's apartheid stemmed out of hatred, that went as far back as then against, um, actually, like, they're Indian, not black, so what the hell? Well, I guess just because that they were resisting, like they didn't want any protesters, so they were just like, cracking down on it.
Yeah.
Common overbearing government crap. So, let's see here. We have 1914. One German submarine sunk 3 British ironclads, causing the deaths of 1,459 people.
Dang.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
Yeah, the First World War. So, man. At that same time, 1914, Louis Botha, Premier of the Union of South Africa, assumed command of the armed forces after having dismissed General Byers because of his resistance to aiding British in the war against Germany. So, wow, South Africa was part of the Central Powers. He assumed the command of the armed forces having been dismissed. Oh, he dismissed General Byers because of his resistance to aiding. Okay. So yeah, no. So he removed the guy refusing to aid Britain. That's right, because South Africa was actually still a British colony at that time.
Yep.
All right, that makes more sense. I had to read that again. So, let's see here. 1915. Why don't you take this one? The Red Sox one.
All right. Boston Red Sox asked Boston Braves for use of Braves Field of a 10,000 plus capacity for Baseball World Series against the Philadelphia Phillies.
I wonder if they got permission.
Yeah, just as they asked. Yeah.
1915 World Series. Where was the 1915 World Series played? Let's see here. Venue: Baker Bowl, Philadelphia, Braves Field, Boston. So did they get it? Yeah. Braves Field.
Nice.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty nice of them.
They needed a bigger field and they got it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of World Series, though, this 1921, this 1920 article is...
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, okay. Chicago grand jury convenes to investigate charges that 8 White Sox players conspired to fix the 1919 World Series. That's the Black Sox.
Wow. The Black Sox? I thought White Sox.
Yeah, that's what they called this event. They were the Black Sox. So you could look it up if you want. I'm pretty sure it's.
I believe you.
Okay.
I don't even know how to search for that. So.
You could search up just the Black Sox 1919 World Series.
Oh, I see. Black Sox scandal. You're right. What was the 1919 Black Sox scandal? The Black Sox scandal was a Major League Baseball game-fixing scandal in which 8 members of the Chicago White Sox were accused of throwing the 1919 World Series against the Cincinnati Reds in exchange for money from a gambling syndicate led by Arnold Rothstein. Oof.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I'm going to add this to the underbar as well. That's interesting as all get out. Dang. I'm not surprised. I'm just, still kind of and wow, that actually, stuff like that actually happened. That's wild.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. From a gambling syndicate of all things.
Jeez, man, things went real quick.
Yeah.
That just goes to show, though, how fast and how deep corruption can get in anything, Because, now, it's not just those guys, it's this, and you have this syndicate led by this guy, and it mushrooms into so many factors really quick,
Yep.
And all it takes is that one little, foot in the door, and then it just, yeah. Anyway, let's move on up to 1921, a music premiere.
Sure. Music Box Theater opens at 239 West 45th Street in New York City. Built by theatrical producer Sam H. Harris for Irving Berlin's musical review. The Music Box, written specifically for the venue.
Huh. That sounds a lot like. Have you ever seen that movie Sing?
I think so, yeah. I don't
Like
remember, but
I think this is a lot of inspiration for that movie, for the
uh-huh.
premise. I don't know. It sounds very similar. Anyway, why don't you take this other 21 as well? That's interesting.
Sure, the League of Nations accepts membership of independent Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania.
Nice, the Baltic states,
Yeah.
which is really good because like Russia has always wanted those, and they've had them before. Germany's had them, you know. Um,
Yep.
yeah. But 1 year later, in 1922, the U.S. Congress passed the Cable Act, under which a U.S. woman who married an alien will not lose citizenship. Neither will a woman marrying a U.S. citizen automatically become a citizen. All right. Then let's see here. 1927, the long count in a famous boxing rematch. Gene Tunney beat Jack Dempsey by 10-round unanimous decision at Soldiers Field in Chicago to retain World Heavyweight title. Crowd of 104,943. Gates of $2,858,660. I don't know what gate is, but what is that? What they made? Or?
Wait. Um, the gate. That would be just the money. It's related to the money.
So the prize money for the winner?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Huh. The long count. That's a boxing rematch, so that's interesting.
The long count, I wonder if that just means somebody got knocked down and it was more than a 10-second count or something.
Well, I don't know, because I think this is the actual name of the fight itself.
Oh, okay.
The long count in a famous.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. I'm not a boxing guy. I've never heard of this before. So, and to fully comprehend this situation would once again require a rabbit hole of sleuthing. That
True.
once again I welcome any viewers to do on our behalf, and we welcome your findings. So, yeah, they can get involved in the show too. See. Let's see here. Let's move on up into. I'm not seeing anything interesting. Well, I see some destroyers getting blown up, but let's see here. Just going to move on up to 1944. President Jose P. Laurel declared the Philippines under martial law in 1944 through Proclamation Number 29.
That's not good.
Yeah. Well, this was during the Second World War.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
I think this is just after, I don't know. Did Japan occupy the Philippines? Did occupy Yep, they did. And, I remember that's where man, I should be ashamed of myself. Douglas MacArthur, I believed that's where he was. He was on the Philippines when they pushed him out. And he promised to return, and I believe this is after he did return. So, yeah, I think this is I don't know, 1944. When did Japan invade Philippines? 8th of December 1941. Okay, yeah, that's right. Right after Pearl Harbor, they did a whole everywhere invasion thing. It was nuts. Yeah, so this has to be after we took it back, after they regained their autonomy, no longer being occupied by Japan, and then he declared martial law because they just got unoccupied by Japan, so that makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, why don't you take 1950 here?
Sure. Omar Bradley promoted to rank of 5-star general in the United States Army.
Dang. Yeah, he must have been a supreme commander for Korea, I think. Although
Not sure.
There was no conflict, to my knowledge, we were in 1950, but this might have been like, leading up to, well, probably a preemptive thing leading up to it, like establishing a command before, we actually occupy the area.
It's a pretty big honor to be promoted to a 5-star general, though.
Yeah. Normally they end at 4. There's only been like a handful of 5-star generals, and I don't think there ever will be another one again because of how things are run nowadays. Like, the position is like filled by other positions or just like by the president or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the chain of command is a bit different.
Vastly different in 80 years. Like,
Right.
I mean, hell, there wasn't really there wasn't even like an air force until 1948, I think. Everything was the U.S. Army Air Force, UAAA, and of course, the Navy had their own thing, but there wasn't actually like a separate entity, and that was actually like the last military entity to be created until recent times when Donald Trump made the Space Force. So,
Yep.
yep.
Hmm.
Anyway, let's move on up into 55 here.
Sure. Commercial television begins in the UK with the launch of ITV. Soon airs the first advert on UK TV for Gibbs SR toothpaste with that really old commercial looking.
Yeah, sorry for the coughing. My vape popped right in my throat. Um, an ice-enclosed, tingling fresh portion of toothpaste is dispensed in the original ad. Ooh, that sounds good. Tinglingly fresh. I don't know.
It's like you just recreated the commercial.
I just need like special effects, like for a clean smile.
Tingling fresh.
Well, this submarine one in 58 looks pretty interesting.
58. U.S. nuclear submarine USS Skate remains 31 days under the pole, a record.
Is that still the record? Current submarine under the pole. Yeah, the USS Nautilus might have beaten that record. Yeah, the USS Nautilus can remain underwater for 2 weeks or more, and this is 31 days, so that's longer than 2 weeks. So wow, I think that is a sustained record still. That's remarkable. How did they do it? 1958. They didn't have all the oxygen scrubbers and the candles that we got today. I guess they like put up like a
must have been a big submarine or something.
Well, no, I think they might have been like had like an air periscope. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know how they would have done it. Let's see here. I'm just gonna search this entirely here. USS Skate. It's not telling me really anything here. I'm not finding. Who sailed beneath the North Pole in a nuclear submarine? Okay, how long could the? Okay, well, it's not telling me anything about records, so I think this is a record that stands to this day.
Wow.
Dang. That's pretty cool.
I wonder why they had to stay under there so long, too.
Maybe testing endurance for, combat situations, like military's always testing, their vessels and their people.
Yeah, one heck of a test then.
Yeah. 31 days underwater, that's a month, dude. That's literally a month submerged in a tin can, with thousands of pounds of pressure coming at you in every square inch. That's
no sunlight.
Yeah, that makes me wonder, like, where do they get all the food, all their water, like, all their. I mean, I'm sure they had some kind of like primitive, water filtration and like, like air scrubbers or something. Like 1950s, they were still, in the very budding stages of the space, like the whole space thing.
Oh yeah.
So like they could have been using some of that technology too, but like how were they just eating cereal by the end of the month? Like like God, I don't want to go through that. That sounds crazy. Anyway, let's move on to 1962 here.
Bob Dylan plays Carnegie Hall in New York City.
All right. I don't know why that's highlighted, but okay.
Must have
And
been a good show. I don't know.
yeah, I still want that hat though. That's a cool hat.
Oh yeah.
And then this guy who looks kind of like Lalo Salamanca. 1966, Edward Albee's play Delicate Balance premiered in New York City, later to receive the Pulitzer Prize for Drama in the following year of 1967. 1966, though, as well, Surveyor 2 crashed on the moon and all contact with it was lost. Aw. That's sad. But then 1968,
Waste of a trip.
I'm sorry?
Kind of a waste of a trip sending it all the way up there, only for it to crash.
Yeah. But, not every swing is a hit, unfortunately.
True.
Anyway, 1968, ceremony to mark relocation of ancient Egyptian Abu Simbel temples, honoring Ramses II after rebuilt 200 meters inland away from Aswan Dam. I remember this, in Egypt, like that wall carving, like with the 4 big statues sitting on thrones and stuff.
Yeah.
They actually moved that entire facility, like the whole temple inside, everything. They moved everything to further inland because they had built a dam, and it was gonna partially or completely submerge the entire structure. So they moved it further inland and higher up.
Wow.
Yeah, 200 meters. So that's incredible. So, but yeah, the original site is now underwater. That's really sad, but I mean, people got to have water, So.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's see here. Moving on up into 1969, San Francisco Giant Willie Mays became a second player to hit 600 home runs. Nice. Who was the first to hit 600 though? First.
Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, probably. That's my guess. Hank Aaron.
A-Rod's. Let's see here.
A-Rod is recent. Hank Aaron would have been around this time.
600 HR. Let's see here. Babe Ruth became the charter member of the club. No. Why is
It
that
could have
telling
been
me?
Babe Ruth.
Okay, I'm just going to click on this. 600 home run club. Let's see. Barry Bonds. No. That's...
Too recent.
Yeah, no. Wow, why is it so difficult? Well, Hank Aaron is the youngest 600 home run.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say, you can type in, when did Hank Aaron hit his 600th home run? If that's before or after this date, then...
Well, that's only one guy. It's not telling me...
Well, because it says Willie Mays is the second player to hit it, so there's only one player before him.
Okay, that's true. So, hold on a second. What name? I lost it. Hank Aaron. Okay, here we go. Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron. When did Hank Aaron hit 600? April 27th, 1971.
Oh, alright, so it was close, so not quite.
Yeah, no, so, yeah. Oh, well, we're not going to find that out.
I mean, it could have been Babe Ruth, but I don't...
I don't know. I specifically typed in who was the first, and it's just telling me, oh, here's a list of people who did it. I'm like, no. And it's alphabetical, so it's not numerical.
Yeah.
Or time, stamped. Anyway, move on to 1970.
Hank Aaron was probably the third player to hit it then. If it was 71, it's a couple years after this.
Probably. Who knows?
Alright, 1970, U.S. President Richard Nixon requests 1,000 new FBI agents for college campuses.
Oh, that's concerning there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, nothing compared to, 86,000 IRS agents, today? New ones?
Yeah.
So, but still, they start out small, the salami slices, so.
They need the FBI, the police just won't do.
Mm-hmm. Apparently. What are the police for,
Mm-hmm.
You have a third one here in 73.
'73, Henry Kissinger, sworn in as America's first Jewish Secretary of State, succeeds William Rogers.
Hmm. I don't know why the fact that he's Jewish is so important to label it, but whatever. You know, isn't this guy also a war criminal? You know.
I guess it's because he's the first Jewish secretary.
Yeah. Woo. I don't know. Anyway, moving
I don't
on.
remember.
What?
I don't remember what Henry Kissinger is known for besides that. I'm not sure.
Well, I think he has some like shady history. Like he's had some dealings and things. I don't know. Like I can't tell you right now, but I remember reading some things that that are not so good about this guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Like I think he worked with the Clintons, at some point. I don't know, during something where people, died or some kind of scandal, something. I don't know. He had involvement somewhere. Anyway, moving on up into 1975, the second assassination attempt on U.S. President Gerald Ford by Sarah Jane Moore failed in San Francisco. Dang. So is this like the second attempt in both times were by the same person, or this is the second attempt and this time it was by her? But still, it was like, dang, second time. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I get it, people, like prominent people, popular people, people in positions of power and all that stuff. Like, of course, there's always going to be people, wanting to get at them. But to get to the point where, like, it actually, like, almost comes to happen, and then now we have it twice. Like, God, how bad was this guy, to get people to do this, this extreme twice, Yeah. Anyway, then 1975, the World Football League folded. Huh. I wonder, that has to be the, for soccer, or for football,
Yeah. That was the end of the WFL, probably.
Well, yeah. That is the abbreviation of that, World Football League. So.
Yep.
Anyway, 365 days later, in 1976, the TV drama Charlie's Angels, starring Farrah Fawcett, Kate Jackson, and Jacqueline Smith, debuted. Yep.
Later to be made into movies and stuff.
Yep, and parodied in, cartoons like, what's that teenager one? Like, I don't know.
I don't remember.
It was some cartoon. It was like three high school girls, and they were also worked for like the CIA, and they were like special agents or something, and they had some kind of British butler guy. I don't know. Anyway, why don't you take 1978 here?
Sounds familiar. Yeah, I can't remember. It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Okay. Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin returns home after Camp David summit.
All right. Oh, and pardon me. Speaking of Israel, what did they do 1 year after that?
1 year after that, Israel performs nuclear test at Indian Ocean.
Oh, Israel. They're nuclear. That's worrisome. So. Oh, here we go. These guys. Good thing Soen isn't here to tell us what he thinks.
1980, John Lennon and Yoko Ono sign a recording contract with Geffen Records. Interesting, Geffen Records.
365 days after that, 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor was appointed to U.S. Supreme Court. Yeah, we spoke about her earlier. She was voted in, first woman Supreme Court Justice. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Breaking boundaries. Smashing that glass ceiling. You go, girl. I don't know. Anyway, 1982, the sitcom Family Ties, starring Michael J. Fox, premiered on NBC. Alright. And I remember, there was a whole thing about, because he was on Family Ties, while they were also doing Back to the Future, and he was, actively taking, he was still in high school. He was a kid. So, he had, he had to balance school with, filming a TV show and filming a movie all at the same time for, a couple months of his life. That must have been insane. He literally got no sleep. That's probably what caused his Parkinson's, actually, maybe. I don't know. Rough. Anyway, 1983, the Everly Brothers reunited after 10 years apart in a concert at the Royal Albert Hall in London. Why does he look so mad?
Just looks like he's not the best smiler.
Yeah. he looks like a psychopath. Honestly, like that's the face you see on like a serial killer. He's both mad and like happy at the same time. I don't know.
It's like he's wearing a wig and not a wig at the same time.
Oh my god! It's like he's wearing a wig and not a wig. Oh man, let's not beat up on this guy too much. Like, is he even still alive? No, unfortunately, he died in 2014. Wow, we're making fun of a dead guy. That's not cool. Let's move on up into 1985.
Oh god. Billy Martin's right arm is broken by pitcher Ed Whitson.
Ooh. Ouch.
He's a manager, so I don't know how the heck that happened.
Well, he was a player and a manager, so it might have been when he was playing. And man, dude, taking a ball too long, that must. Oh god, that hurts. Oh, you got the first farm aid. You lucky.
The first one? Wow, okay. Farm Aid concert, 1985. First Farm Aid benefit concert campaign in Illinois, organized by Willie Nelson, Neil Young, and John Mellencamp. Performers included Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, Billy Joel, B.B. King, Hoyt Axton, Joni Mitchell, Ricky Lee Jones, and Emmylou Harris.
Nice. So they straight up, the musicians organized it. That's really cool, dude.
Oh yeah, some all-star cast right there.
We need more of this today. Like, we really do. So. Oh, here we go. This Rainbow Warrior again.
Oh, I remember this. 1985 also. French Prime Minister Laurent Fabius appears on TV to confess agents of the DGSE sank this boat, Rainbow Warrior. They acted on orders.
Yeah, because they were getting too close to some kind of nuclear something or other. Like, I'm not sure if it was like a test area or like a facility, but they were getting too close to these protesters. And it's like, hey, you know, this is a terrorist activity, you know, you're doing. So they had to sink them, you know. So. Yep. I can't disagree with what they did at all, you know, as far as sinking that ship. So. Anyway, oh, here we go. More baseball for you.
Cool. All right. 1986, LA Dodger Fernando Valenzuela is first Mexican to win 20 games.
Nice.
Pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah. Then, oh, you get this one. That's pretty cool. 1987.
Yep, 1987 U.S. TV series Full House starring Bob Saget and John Stamos debuts.
Nice. Full House. I've heard about it. I've never watched it though.
Oh, it was on all the time here when I was growing up.
Moving on up into 1988, Canada began production of a $5 silver maple leaf bullion coin. That's pretty cool. In 1989, Baywatch, starring David Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson, debuted on NBC. Yep, the inventor of slow-mo, pretty much. Yeah, like the 300, you know, took a lot of heavy inspiration from, you know, what this TV show did. And actually, if you speed up all the slow-mo, like, you know, portions, so if you watch the entire movie at actual regular speed, it's like around a half hour long. It's ridiculous, yeah. Anyway, 1990, Andre Dawson stole his 300th base and was and was the only player other than Willie Mays to have 300 home runs, 300 steals, and 2,000 hits. Wow.
He's nicknamed the Hawk. I actually sent a card and a letter and got his autograph. I have.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, he's nicknamed the Hawk. Yeah.
The Hawk.
Yeah, like if you go on, I remember being younger, like you look for some players, you know, mailing addresses to send them some of your cards, and he sent me one back.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, I just seen that name. I'm like, oh yeah, man, I sent him a card once.
Yeah. Well, speaking of doing awesome things with paper, Uh, 1991, California University made the Dead Sea Scrolls public.
Really?
Yeah. So until this date, 1991, you know, uh, 30, is it 30? Yeah, 31 years ago. Yeah. People like the common people didn't even know about these things. And the Dead Sea Scrolls like is really, really significant, you know, as far as like, you know, documentation of ancient history and whatnot. Anyway, why don't you tell us what else happened in '91 here with some more sports history?
91, Miami Dolphins coach Don Shula records his 300th career NFL victory.
Nice. And then, some more baseball here in '93.
Also 93, Nolan Ryan, 46 years old, pitches his last game. Wow, he pitched for quite some time.
Dang, at 46 and still has that arm. Like, man, that guy's in some shape.
Yeah, I remember him like even throwing out a first pitch of a game. Like I don't remember when, but he could still throw the ball hard at like way even older. Like,
Dude, all I can say is I would have hated to be his son. You know, oh, let's go play catch.
my hand, I can't feel my hand.
Sends his kid to the next county. Where's Nolan Jr.? Oh, he's out in Albuquerque. Why? Oh, we were playing catch. God damn it, Nolan. Anyway, what else happened? We have a historic event here in '93 as well. Dang, we're stuck in '93.
Yeah, Supreme Soviet dismisses President Boris Yeltsin.
So he was no longer president, or they just dismissed him. You know, I guess a statement. I don't know. I don't know much about Soviet political history, unfortunately.
Same.
Then we have a television debut in 1994, Friends, the TV sitcom created by David Crane and Martha Kaufman, debuted on NBC, starring Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, Matthew Perry, and David Schwimmer. David Schwimmer, oh yeah, that guy.
Of course, Friends, very popular.
That's Ross, right? David Schwimmer?
Yeah, maybe.
I remember like Band of Brothers. Ross was like the drill sergeant guy or something. So you have this comedian guy like being an absolute asshole on the show. It's just like, whoa, this guy's a good actor here. But then in 1997, Elton John released Candle in the Wind 1997, a tribute to Diana, Princess of Wales in the U.S. Yep. Man, look at those
Was that
glasses.
after the car accident?
Yeah, accident, quote unquote. So, anyway, let's see here. Why don't you take these two 99s and then 2002, and then we'll do a split.
Sweet. All right. 1999, The West Wing, created by Alan Sorkin and starring Martin Sheen, Rob Lowe, and Richard Schiff, debuts on NBC.
Huh. I've never seen The West Wing, but I heard it was good.
Yeah, same. Also, in 1999, 33rd Country Music Association Award, Shania Twain, Martina McBride, and Tim McGraw win.
All right.
Then 2002, 54th Emmy Awards, The West Wing, Friends, Michael Chiklis, and Allison Janney win.
All right.
So, both of those shows we just talked about won 2 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Ross again right there.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm going to do the split here. Welcome to part 2 of this date in history on September 22nd, 2022. We are still in the main body, still in the main articles here. We are, though, up in 2004, and it is, let's give you some more turns here. So why don't you tell us what happened in 2004?
2004, Lost, created by J.J. Abrams and starring Matthew Fox and Evangeline Lilly, debuts on ABC in the U.S. Good show. I remember when that came out.
Yeah, that's another show I haven't seen. You know, I heard a lot about.
A lot of cliffhangers in them. It was like ended always in a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I remember Like there's a whole thing about finding the hatch, and then that actually turned into an Easter egg in WoW.
Huh.
Yeah, you can actually
That's
find the
fun.
hatch, I think, in Ungoro Crater.
Huh, we talked about Ungoro Crater recently. That's funny.
Yeah.
Huh.
Ooh, some more baseball for you.
Two- Yep, 2004 San Francisco Giants outfielder Barry Bonds was intentionally walked 4 times in a 9-inning game, an MLB record for the second time on May 1st, 2004. Yeah, they never wanted to pitch to him.
Huh. Why, like instant homers?
Yep, pretty much. Yep, they just always walked him.
Huh. That must suck. Like that's a boring game.
Yeah, they see Barry Bonds come up and like, well, they're walking him again. They're not even gonna risk it.
Yeah. What else happened in 2004?
Teen noir series Veronica Mars, created by Rob Thomas and starring Kristen Bell, premieres on UPN in the U.S.
UPN. That's a network I haven't heard about in a long time.
Yeah, me either.
Wonder if they're still around. UPN. Let's see here. UPN. Closed September 15th, 2006. So that answers that question. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Founders Paramount Pictures and United Television. Parent organization CBS Corporation. Alright, well, rest in peace, UPN. Moving on up into 2006, the F-14 Tomcat retired from the U.S. Navy. Isn't that the plane that Maverick flew and all that stuff in what's that movie? Top Gun?
I mean, could be. You could look it up if you want, but
What plane was used in Top Gun? What plane was used in Top Gun? Boeing FA through 18EF Super Hornet. Let's see here. What is the F-14 Tomcat used in Top Gun? The Grumman F-14A Tomcat is the signature aircraft of Top Gun. So yeah, there you go.
huh?
Yeah, you know, like it makes
That's
sense.
weird.
Tom Cruise, Tomcat. You know, like
Yeah.
Top Cruise, Tom Gun. You know, like everything's all interchangeable. You know, like the parts for the vehicles. Anyway, 3 years later, 2009,
Yeah,
Sorry, what's?
Imagine if they had a couple like different ways the F-14s looked, and they could have the F-14 Tomcat and the F-14 Jerry or something. I don't know.
Oh God.
But...
One's like smaller than the other, and then like they're always chased. It's a chaser thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tom and instead of like missiles and machine guns, they have like those cartoon extendo arm things with like a huge mallet, just wham! Like, oh my God. We just I think we have a good idea for a movie here. Just turn Top Gun into a cartoon show.
There you go.
Anyway, 2009 crime drama NCIS LA starring Chris O'Donnell, LL Cool J, and Daniela Rua premiered on CBS. Yep. NCIS. I don't know what that stands for. Criminal investigation something. I know LA stands for Los Angeles.
Right. I've seen that show.
NCIS LA. But what does NCIS mean? What does NCIS stand for? Naval Criminal Investigative Service. Okay. Well, that's interesting. It was a military thing. Government agency. Huh.
Yep.
Huh. That's interesting.
Pretty good show.
2012, 7 pedestrians were killed by a drunk driver who hit a bus stop at 200 kilometers an hour in Moscow. Holy shit. Wow.
So that is like basically 100 miles per hour.
Let's see here.
I forget exactly.
PM to miles. 124.
Okay, so yeah, that is fast. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah. And they were all just waiting for the bus, but instead they got a first class ticket to heaven. That sucks.
Yeah, almost. I wonder if they even seen him coming at that speed, because that's like.
Well, I mean, if he had his headlights on, they probably would have. I mean, at that
Yeah,
speed, you can't turn a corner and slam into something going that fast, so you have to be going at a straight shot.
that's what I
But
figured. Yeah, it
but
would
then
be
again,
straight
like, who's
line.
just sitting there and watching the car come at them at a great speed without getting out of the way? Unless there's
Yeah.
50 people there, like it could have been a mass commute area. I don't know. That's
Mm-hmm.
insane. No, 7 pedestrians were killed. That sucks.
Well, that's I guess I've heard in Russia. There's a lot of just drinking going on because that's basically all you could do.
Well, yeah, like up until recently, beer was actually like, I'm not even joking. It was classified as a soft drink. They wouldn't even, classify it as like an alcoholic or adult beverage. Uh, you know,
Wow.
so, and in some places,
Yep.
I think it's confirmed that they actually do baby feed their children vodka, like bottle feed.
Well, I hope not.
I mean, if you're in Siberia, you got to have something to keep you warm. So
Mm.
get little like Vladislav drunk, to survive the night. I don't know. Anyway, why don't you tell us what happened in 2013 here?
Pretty good one here. 65th Primetime Emmy Awards, Breaking Bad and Modern Family win.
Yep. Oh God, the next one, like the one in between the two highlighted. Holy crap.
Yikes. 2013, right?
Yeah,
78 people are killed in a church suicide bombing in Peshawar, Pakistan.
that is a yikes. And speaking of terrorist activity, you have Angela Merkel here.
Angela Merkel and the Christian Democrats win a third term with their best result since 1990 in German federal elections.
Now, I may be ignorant here, but Christian Democrats sounds like an oxymoron. Like, it sounds like it's like what's the word that they use for those Starburst commercials? It's it's a solid, but it's a liquid. Like, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Like, there's some word
Yep.
for it. Like, I don't know. Anyway, you have, oh God, someone even worse. I'm sorry.
2015, Chinese President Xi Jinping arrives in Seattle to start his first state visit to the U.S.
Dude, you know what would be so funny?
What?
If somebody, like, somehow hacked into this site and changed this picture to the Winnie the Pooh version, where somebody, like, just drew on, like, really badly in MS Paint the Winnie the Pooh face. Like, that would just be hysterical. I'm not saying for anybody to do it. I'm just saying it'd be funny. I don't condone, hacking. Uh, but if it happens, I'll get a good chuckle. You know. Anyway, 2015 as well. Pope Francis greeted by President Obama and Vice President Biden as he arrived at Joint Base Andrews, Maryland, for his 6-day tour of the U.S. Dang, he had to show up with these guys, huh? Poor Francis. Anyway, 2018 Farm Aid held in Hartford, Connecticut. Performers included Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, Neil Young, Dave Matthews, Chris Stapleton, Casey Moosegraves, Sturgill Simpson, Nathaniel Rateliff, and the Night Sweets, and Margot Price. All right.
Ah, that's something I could have probably seen. I didn't even know that there was a Farm Aid concert there. That's pretty cool.
Huh. Yeah, that would have been cool if you had gone there.
Oh, definitely.
Then we
Have you ever been to a concert yourself,
I've been
Xander?
to one, and it was at for some kind of Christian thing, and obviously
Uh-huh.
it wasn't exciting. And it's like I would like to go to a concert, but I'm not interested in music that much to follow like when there's going to be concerts, and I've never really had the finances to go. Like
Yeah, you told me that how in school that was never really your thing, and you never really got favorites and stuff.
yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy music. It's not like I have posters of like Slipknot and shit all over my walls. Like I was never one of those
Right.
kids. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm always different. Like I'm so different, I don't even know what I am. So
Fair enough, man.
yeah. But speaking of different, why don't you tell us in 2018? That's interesting.
2018 singer Rihanna is appointed as an ambassador for Barbados. Really?
Yeah.
She just has the fan base to get, people backed for her on that, I guess.
I
Or
guess.
it's just where she's from or something. I don't really
Yeah,
know.
she was. Oh, she is Barbadian, so that would make
Okay, yeah.
sense. She's from
Yeah.
Barbados, so she's a popular, influential person in our culture. Why not use her for the ambassador? You know,
Yeah.
it makes
Makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah. But what the hell is this? Howdy Modi?
Sounds like Howdy Doody, but Howdy Moody. U.S. President Donald Trump holds a mass rally for Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Houston, Texas.
I get it. Howdy Modi,
Yeah,
because it's in Texas. Like,
yeah,
yeah, that's pretty cool. That's cute. Like,
it is.
that's kind of cute. Uno mas.
2019 71st Emmy Awards. Fleabag, Game of Thrones, and Chernobyl. Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Harold Jerome win.
Chernobyl and Game of Thrones. Like, once again, well, I haven't seen any of these, but like, two really big ones that I, probably should see sometime. Although Game of Thrones is way too long. Chernobyl, though, as a historian, I should watch that. So.
Yeah.
Then 2019 as well, U.S. President Donald Trump admitted he spoke to Ukrainian President about Joe Biden's son after news of a U.S. intelligence officer made an official complaint about the call. Okay, well, here we go. More of this Ukraine shit just seeping into the past now. This is getting gross. And 1 year after that, 2020, Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced that the UK had reached a perilous turning point in the pandemic as he announced new restrictions. This piece of crap, hypocrite, locking the whole nation down, then having a party, and then like instead of stepping down immediately, or like getting forced out, he gives back the rights that he took away, and then people clap for him. They ate it up. It just sickens me, Anyway, moving on.
This last one's kind of interesting.
The 2021?
Yeah, I don't know. That one's a little interesting.
All right. 2021, just last year, the World Health Organization warned urgent action needed on air pollution. It is on par with smoking and a poor diet, causing 7 million premature deaths a year. Then go after China. Leave us alone. China is the leading cause of everything pollution. Literally everything, including radiation. Well, no, that's Japan right now, but still, leave the U.S. alone. We've done more, dude. God. We banned plastic straws, but we wrap paper straws in plastic, and then we just throw masks all over the ground. Oh God.
That's true. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
dude, within the first couple of days of when the pandemic started and everything, I was working as a Grubhub driver. Every time I filled up, the amount of masks at gas station, just everywhere, just what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's not good.
It's ridiculous. I'm just first off, how is there this many people? Because not everyone is taking their mask off and throwing it on the ground. It's only a select amount of people. Well, how is there that much amount of people? That means that there's even more people visiting. Isn't everybody supposed to be locked down? What the hell is going on? It was mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. So, yeah, but anyway, before we go into person deaths, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most viewers? And Scott too, if you'd like to chime in anything, anything that you want to elaborate on or, pick more at or anything like that?
I mean, we elaborated on some of the stuff. I mean, unless you feel like you want, we can recap on something, but...
Yeah. Well, then I guess the audience, can leave a comment, in the comment section. Repeat what I said. Anything you want us to elaborate on, anything you have to say about something, any questions, any answers, anything of that sort, just start a dialogue.
For sure.
Yep. Anyway, moving on in the bursts. Why don't you start us off in 130?
All right. Somebody click over. 130, Claudius Galenus, Italian physician and scholar. This is birthday too.
And then you have another one in 1290 here. That's interesting.
What a name. 1290, Bilbo Baggins, fictional main character of J.R.R. Tolkien's 1937 novel The Hobbit, born in Shire Reckoning.
Yep. So happy birthday, Bilbo. The burglar. Right? It was Bilbo, yeah.
Yep.
Bilbo was the burglar. And another one here in 1515.
Anne of Cleves, Queen of England, 1539 to 1540, fourth wife of Henry VII, born in Dusseldorf, Holy Roman Empire, died in 1557.
Ah. Moving on up to 1791, we have Michael Faraday, who was an English scientist, discovered electromagnetic induction, invented first electric motor, born in Newington Butts, England, or Buttes, I don't know, dying in 1867. So dang. Wow, so he discovered electromagnetic engineering induction and invented the first electric motor in 1791.
Wonder how those experiments happened and how like they did the work to figure that out. I'm curious.
I don't know, man, but like when I find out, I'm pretty sure I'd be shocked.
Ha ha ha.
Moving on up into 1870, we have Charlotte Cooper, was a British tennis player, the first female Olympic champion in 1900, Wimbledon of 1895 through 96, 98, 1901, and 1908. Born in Ealing, England, dying in 1966. Wow. First female Olympic champion.
Lived a long time too, almost 100.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. So that's 96 years. I think. No? 94? I don't know. I'm not doing math. 96, I was right. I accidented the right answer. Anyway, who was born on this date in 1882, Sir Scott?
Wilhelm Keitel, Nazi military leader, head of the German High Command, born in Helmsrode, German Empire, died in 1946.
Must have been convicted and executed of war crimes. Yep, hanging. Good.
Yeah, that would be in line with that time of his death, yeah.
Yeah, no, I just looked it up. It said executed via hanging. Cause of death. In October 16, 1946, at the age of 64. Yep, Nuremberg trials. I just saw over a quick pan of his bio. Here we go. You have an actor here in 1895.
All right, Paul Mooney, American actor, Angel on My Shoulder in Juarez, born in Lviv, Ukraine, died in 1967.
Dang. He was about 60, 70 years old. 71, yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. Moving on up into 1927, we have Tommy Lasorda, a U.S. baseball. You know what? You take this.
Okay. 1927, Tommy Lasorda, American Baseball Hall of Fame manager, the World Series in 1981, 1988, National League Manager of the Year in 1983 and 1988, LA Dodgers from 1976 to 1996, born in Norristown, Pennsylvania. He died in 2021.
Just last year. Huh.
Yeah, he was around a long time, as you can see, a Dodgers guy for 30 years.
Yeah, that's a hell of a resume there.
20 years, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was in there. Like my mom would have probably known about this guy. Dodgers. She was a Dodgers fan, big Dodgers fan.
Yep.
So.
Oh, for sure, she would have known then.
My mom. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, if she wasn't so shy, and like hermit-like, she probably would have been like one of those women who went to games with their face painted, and like dressed with the fucking foam hands. She would have been doing that. Like, she's that level of crazy.
Haha, that's so cool.
Yeah. My mom was a character, dude. Like, straight up. I miss her to death, so... Anyway, 1955, we have John Brennan, a U.S. director of the CIA from 2013 through 2018, born in North Bergen, New Jersey. Then we have Nick Cave, born on this date in 57, an Australian singer-songwriter, Bad Seeds Murder Ballads, born in, oh god, Warrak Nabil, Victoria. I wonder where that's from, Victoria, Australia. Okay, yeah. Oh, right there, Australian. I'm dumb. So, I'm going to take this. I'm sorry. I'm going to step on you right here. In 1958, we have Andrea Bocelli, Italian tenor, The Prayer, born in Lajatico, Italy. He was most known for Conti Partito, which many people know that song, although they don't know the title. And I'm not even going to begin to sing, on camera that song. But
oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Partito, that
I know
one.
Yep. No,
Yeah,
exactly. As soon as you, yep.
Yeah, he's a blind opera singer. That's why his eyes are closed in the picture. He's blind, and my mom absolutely loved his music. I even got her an album, or not, like a CD of him, like for Christmas for her, and I have a whole album, of his. Amazing singer, and
for sure.
I'm sorry to step on your turn like that, man, but I saw the name. I'm like, ooh, I gotta take this. Like, it is, yeah. So.
I don't think he did. So it's his birthday today, basically.
Yeah, it's his birthday. So happy birthday, Bocelli. Anyway, go for it. 1962.
Martin Crowe, New Zealand cricketer and batsman, born in Auckland, died in 2016.
Aw, that sucks. And you have 1982 here.
1982, Billie Piper, English singer and actress for Doctor Who, born in Swindon, Wiltshire, England.
Huh. So she's fairly young, so she has to be... Is she the new Doctor Who? Billie Piper,
probably.
Doctor Who. Let's see here. I wonder if she was one of the supporting side girls, or if she's... Okay, yeah, she's one of the side girls for the War Doctor. The guy with the buzzed head. So, dang. Wow, she released her debut single at the age of 15, so... Dang. Oh, apparently she also quit Doctor Who. Anyway. Unless there's any other names that you see real quickly, I think it's about time to move on to deaths here.
I think we can move on.
Alright, moving to deaths. Starting us off in the year 1072, we have Ouyang Zhu, a Chinese historian and scholar official, was born in 1007. So in 1007. Alright. And then we have Guru Nanak, died on this date in 1539. He was the founder of the religion of Sikhism and the first Sikh guru, dying at the age of 70. So, Sikh religion. Founder of it right there. Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and you got a conquistador here, Scott.
1554, Francisco Vasquez de Coronado, Spanish explorer and conquistador who led first European expedition to discover the Grand Canyon, dies of disease at about 44.
Wow, so he discovered the Grand Canyon. That's cool. Could you imagine, being the first person to, see that shit?
Sure, yeah, I'd imagine that now, just seeing that now, getting that same reaction.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we all know about it. We've seen pictures. Imagine, not even knowing something like that could exist and just stumbling across. You just see this gaping chasm of, beautiful colors, with sheer cliffs. It's just, that must have been spiritual,
Yeah, like another planet, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, in the deserts of Arizona. It's kind of like Mars out there, actually, when you think about it. Oh, and here we go. Nathan Hale. Go for it. This poor guy.
Yeah. 1776. Nathan Hale, U.S. captain, patriot, and spy, hanged by the British for spying at 21. Ouch.
Young, dude. Young. Like, that sucks. But George Washington, like, I believe a week or so ago, like, we read an article on one of the past episodes about George Washington calling for, people to help spy for him, and Nathan Hale stepped up to the plate. And he gave his neck for this country. Let us never forget this guy and all the others like him,
Absolutely.
Okay, moving on, we have 1956. Frederick Soddy passed away on this date. He was an English chemist and Nobel Prize laureate, died of the age of 79. Then we have Irving Berlin, 1989, or Israel Berlin. That's weird. Irving Berlin or Israel Bylin. Russian-U.S. composer and lyricist, considered one of the greatest songwriters in history. Always, God Bless America, White Christmas, Cheek to Cheek. Dies at 101. Wow.
That is something.
Why does he look so much like Mr. Bean?
So he died in this state in 1989, right?
Yeah.
So he was around in the 1800s. Jeez.
Yeah, he was born in... Wow, like he has a big biography here. He was born on May 11th, 1888. So he lived through the First World War, the Roaring '20s, the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, World War II. I've said this list before. Like that is a wild life. And see, think about this. Irving Berlin, and Berlin is, the capital of Germany, okay? And his actual name is Israel Bylin, and so, Israelites weren't really treated that well by Germany, so his name has contradictions in that right now. Then he's Russian, and he's a composer, Russian U.S., like he's an amalgamy of, random things that somehow are fitting together.
Yeah.
But yeah, God Bless America, White Christmas, I've heard of those. And he lived to age 101. That's insane, dude.
Some life, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take this, I don't know. I don't know if you should take this or if I should take this, because this guy is, was a great actor. I'm going to take this if it's all right.
Yeah, you can take it.
1999, we lost George C. Scott, a U.S. actor, Dr. Strangelove, and Patton, and he was also in A Muppet Christmas Carol. Died of a ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm at 71. Oh, that sucks. So his brain exploded. Yeesh.
That's actually an aortic aneurysm. That should be in the heart, but...
Oh, well, let me see here. So his heart exploded. You're right.
Well, ruptured okay. It's weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm. That's quite a bit. Jeez.
An aortic aneurysm is a balloon-like bulge in the aorta, the large artery that carries blood from the heart through the chest and torso. Aortic aneurysms can dissect or rupture. The force of blood pumping can split the layers of the artery wall, allowing blood to leak in between them. Yeesh. So he bled out inside of himself and died. That is awful.
Makes me a little... Doesn't make the thought of that very well for me. Not a good thought.
No. And they have a really young picture of him here. I remember when he was a lot older. So...
Yeah.
But that must be, Dr. Strangelove, when he was in that. But, man, George C. Scott, one of my idols, I always go on about, don't idolize celebrities and everything and stuff, but, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should start practicing what I preach. Patton, was a great, general, and he did, a really good portrayal of that. Well, we have a baseball one here, and this one's sad, and it's your turn, so sorry.
In 2015, Yogi Berra, American Baseball Hall of Fame, catcher, coach, and manager, 18-time All-Star, 13-time World Series for the New York Yankees, American League MVP in 1951, 54 and 55, And Purple Heart recipient dies at 90. Wow, you got a Purple Heart as well.
Huh. He served?
I don't remember that part.
I don't know why he would get the Purple Heart. Why did Yogi Berra get the Purple Heart? Let's see. How did Yogi Berra earn a Purple Heart? He was wounded in the left hand at this time, a wound that entitled him to the Purple Hearts. But, okay, so he was in the Navy.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be damned. He was in the Navy. So he did serve. Well, damn. You know, this guy just gets greater and greater every time I look up something more about him. Rest in peace,
Quite
Yogi
the
Berra.
resume, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace.
2021, just last year, we lost Melvin Van Peebles, a U.S. stage and screen actor, director, Sweet Sweetback's badass song, and sophisticated gent. Well, those two are contradiction. Contradiction! That's the word I was thinking earlier. Anyway, composer and a novelist, died at the age of 89. That's sad. He looks like a cool guy, too. I swear I've seen him in things. So... And that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar of the description for links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time.
1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
I am Scott.
And you, viewer, are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles!